Previously on Tales from the 20 side.
First thing Alwyn would like to do is check to see if Otto is still breathing.
I'm not so happy about being awake, but I'm happy to still be breathing.
I suppose the only thing to do is to go back to Heldren. Well, I think those are our only choices, aren't they? The portal or Heldren.
You step forwards towards this light as the energy is swirling and whipping around you. You sort of find yourself in a forest. This is more of an Arctic forest.
Rolling.
Yep, I'm going.
Rolling.
And we do the clap. 1, 2, 3.
Beautiful. Right. Yes, that is working. Good. Sorry. Brain. Had a bit of a brain fart for just a second there. I need more coffee, that's what it is. More coffee. Coffee. That's better. Right. Alright then. Welcome back, listeners, to Tales from the 20 side, Pathfinder 2nd edition Let's Play podcast. My name is Dom. I'm your games master for this and many other games on this channel, and I'm joined by our regular cast members in a different order because Stu is eating ice cream. Mr. Neil Kelly.
Hello.
Mr. Darren Mafucci.
Hello.
And Mr. Ben & Jerry's sponsor himself, Mr. Stu Jackson. That sounded really mean. That sounded really mean. It wasn't meant to.
No, not at all. No, but do sponsor us, Ben & Jerry's. I mean, tweet us. No, I mean, sponsor us. Yeah.
There we go. Welcome back, folks. How is everybody doing?
We're doing great.
All right.
Enjoying the ice cream in the heat, combined with the thunder and lightning that's happening outside the door. But my computer's not blown up, so that's good.
I know.
Sorry, Dom.
It's fine. It's fine. I mean, bound to happen eventually. Yeah. Still have a computer in bits at the time of recording this, but I'm sure I'll be back up and running very, very soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I for one am feeling quite hungry because
Yeah, I've had that little snack, and now.
Yeah, I just had an apple. I just had an apple, and we've spent our entire mid-session break talking about the various foods that we're going to make for each other next time we see each other in person, and it's had the effect of making me very, very hungry. So there we go.
And you've got to watch me eating Ben & Jerry's cookie dough.
I can
Zoom as well.
I can fix that easily enough. Boot from call. No, I can't do that. I'm not the host. I don't have the power to do that, sadly.
No, that would be me.
There we go. Right, how's everybody doing? How are you feeling? You've all just crossed over into a strange new world.
That's a lot like the world we just came from.
Yes.
Colder.
Noticeably
Cool.
colder. And with more sucking.
More sucking.
I quite like this world.
And spitting out.
I was about to say relieved, but not in that way. But no, I think the fact that we have actually all survived is a surprise and a pleasant one, obviously. But I think at the back of Alwyn's mind, we really need to be a bit more careful and maybe strategize and tread it more carefully.
Yeah.
He can't afford to lose another group of people like that.
Go. Yeah, because you were all treading a very, very fine line in your big battle with Rokar very recently. Otto obviously almost dying a couple of times. I think Brother Amos, you were close to going down yourself.
I became very close, yes.
Yeah. But as you said, you've all survived to tell the tale. So you must be invincible, right?
Yes, this is the conclusion I have drawn. We must be.
For the listeners, this is Dom's revenge, because in our social game, every time we level up, I say, "Oh, we're like gods now," and then he gets really angry with me because says, "No, that's when you die."
That's
and
it.
things like that.
It is a curse, and every time you utter it, the boss's hit points go up. That's all. That's all.
And knowing it winds Dom up doesn't make me do it all the more.
Definitely doesn't. Who would do such a thing, Stu?
Well, there's a name for people like that.
There we go. And we're about to play a game with some of them. So why don't we pick ourselves back off?
Do you realise he's just called us all twats?
There you go. You're twats, but you're my twats. I'll tolerate you for the time being. Anyway, bringing ourselves back into our game. So our heroes, Alwyn Templeton, Brother Amos, and Otto von Niederschläger, have been concluding some business in the Border Wood and having sort of... Oh, another motorbike. Sort of moving around the forest for an extended period of time, dealing with trolls, dealing with bandits, being scared half to death by creepy apparitions. All of this came to a head with a big fight against the bandit known as Rokar of Rokar's Raiders. After a close fought battle, the three of you brought down Rokar and destroyed or scattered what remained of his little band of outlaws. And then you decided that you would continue on your journey. In doing so, you traversed back across the Border Wood to the area where you had fought and destroyed the moss troll known as Tebnotten, and you had stepped through the portal that he seemed to have been guarding at the time. And after a brief moment of magical transportation, you found yourselves in a visually very similar place to the one that you previously left, but also kind of knowing in the depths of your mind that you are suddenly a very long way from home. You surveyed your surroundings and spotted a tower on the hillside, a ways away to the east, and resolved to start moving towards it, following the hoofprints that had clearly been left by the rider known as Ilverian Matavius previously. And after a few minutes of walking, you became aware of a commotion some ways ahead of you. It sounded like there was a struggle of some sort going on, which was punctuated by a single bestial guttural cry. And that is where we bring ourselves back in. Adventurers, what would you like to do?
I think I would like to use stealth to move up and see what's going on.
All right. Roll me a stealth check there, please, Brother Amos.
16.
16. Okay. So this noise is coming from, if you were to guess, probably about 100 feet away from you. How far are you willing to go?
70 feet.
You'll move up 70 feet. Okay, so that's most of your turn. You sort of step your way forward, and you can see the trees kind of thin ahead of you into a clearing, and you can see that there is a large green, vaguely bug-like creature that seems to be thrashing around with something in its mandibles, and you can see several smaller humanoid figures sort of scrambling and rushing around at the base of it.
Okay.
What's everybody else doing whilst Brother Amos disappears into the underbrush?
Well, Alwyn's already got his longbow drawn, so I would just like to knock an arrow and rush forward. towards the noise.
You do
May-
so.
Maybe we've had enough of just rushing towards any noise we hear. Maybe we should, as you said, exercise a little more caution in these things.
Yes, but people might be being hurt.
Yes, and it could end up with us getting hurt too, again.
Infallible logic there from Otto von Niederschlag.
He's not wrong.
No, I've been hurt enough. I have been hurt before.
Right. So you move up, Alwyn. Again, you get about 70 feet, and you see this large green creature. As you kind of get a better look at it, it looks like a very large mantis. Seems to be thrashing around with something in its mandibles. You can see that there are 4 humanoid shapes. One seems to be sort of shouting vague commands at the other 3, and they seem to be trying to bring the beast down, or at least stave it off themselves.
Does the thing in its mandibles appear to be a thing or a them?
The thing in its mandibles appears to be a them. You can see kind of lolling around in its mouth is another humanoid.
Quick, it's eating someone.
And see, that's what happens when you rush into things.
All right. Are you guys doing anything, or are you just gonna? It continues to thrash around, and as it does so, you watch its leg shoots out towards one of these other people, and sort of with a massive spurt of blood, this individual collapses to the ground.
So we're Alwyn is what, 30 feet away?
You're 30 feet away from the mantis itself. Doesn't seem to have noticed you. It seems to be very much concerned with these other individuals in front of it.
How tall is this mantis?
It's a good 8, 9, 10 feet tall.
So 30 feet isn't very far away from something like that.
Yeah, but
3.
you're 100 feet back, Mary.
Yeah, yes, and I'm worried that maybe I'll move forward a bit, but I'm worried that you have already in your mind picked a side.
Alwyn has indeed picked a side. You're very psychic there, and will loose an arrow at it.
All right. Okay. In that case, let's roll some initiative, folks.
16 for Alwyn.
16 for Alwyn.
23.
18.
It was 16 for Alwyn, yes?
Yep.
And 18 for Otto.
Yes.
Okay. All right there. So, kind of as you take your bow out there, Alwyn, sort of getting ready to loose the arrow, Brother Amos, you are the first to react. You see Alwyn going for his bow. What would you like to do?
I think I will move into the clearing and ask if anybody needs assistance to try and gauge who I should be helping.
Is this our fight, really? This has nothing to do with us.
So, Brother Amos, you move into the clearing, and you sort of see one of these humanoid figures who's sort of focusing on kind of being a bit defensive and such. And as you announce your presence, he sort of turns around and he sort of says, "Ah, where'd you come from?"
Do you need help?
Yes, it's got Ulf.
Okay, so I will move up to the mantis and attack.
Okay, so 20 feet gets you up to the mantis. You've got one action left.
Flurry of blows. I think I'm going to
Right.
regret this. I should have listened to Otto, I feel like. Just gone back through the portal. Back to Eldrin.
Roll your 2 attacks there.
18.
18 is a miss, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a miss as well.
Okay, you thud into the carapace of this mantis twice. It's a bit harder than perhaps you were expecting. Yeah, you deal no damage to it. Alright, end of your turn, Brother Amos. We are around to the mantis. You see it's sort of thrashing around a bit with this individual in its mouth, which it drops to the floor. Continues to ignore you for just a second, and lashes out with its limbs towards the individual who you had just spoken to. And you see... again, the mantis lashes out towards this individual, catches them in its sort of scissor-like limbs, and starts to pull it towards it. As it pulls it in, it's then going to attempt to bite the individual. And you see that he is just able to get a sword up to push the snapping mandibles away from this creature. That's the end of its turn. Otto, we're round to you.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Why do we have to get into... Why do we have to fight everything we see?
Do you know what? I'm picturing Otto being like 100 feet away from the action, just saying all that, stood there on his own, saying, "Oh, for fuck's
really?
sake."
Do we have to fight everything we see? Well, I'm half dead as it is. Maybe I'll move a bit closer.
Okay. How much closer are you moving?
I will move up to where Alwyn Templeton is.
Okay. So at that point, you're still a little bit away.
Yes.
That's okay. That's going to be your turn by the sounds of it.
Yes.
Alwyn, we're round to you.
Starts trudging up, muttering and complaining. Love it. First thing, call to Chardonnay. Go on, kill the bug. So, presumably Chardonnay can get there in a single action?
Yes. Actually... yes, I've got you in the wrong place on the map. So, yes is the answer.
Okay, and we'll make an attack.
Alright, roll that attack.
24.
24 is going to hit. Roll damage there.
Good. So that's 5 points of damage from Chardonnay.
Alright, Chardonnay snaps into kind of the flank of this beast.
And Alwyn, you say I'm 30 feet away, so that's good. Will fire with the longbow at the creature.
Alright, roll that attack.
16.
16 is a miss, unfortunately.
Okay, and we'll fire one more time. It's not agile, is it? No.
It's not, sadly.
13, so no.
Okay. Alright, so acting kind of immediately after you, we are round to these individuals who are being attacked, it seems, by the bug.
That is the assumption the conclusion we've jumped to.
And so you watch Alwyn as the figure that was kind of giving commands before sort of steps forward, holding an axe in her hands. You see a flash of red hair as she wades in toward the beast. And as she's stepping forward, she sort of looks over, sees the three of you, and you do see a very brief moment of relief cross her face. But before anybody can sort of comment on that, she's sort of striding forward, and you hear her calling out as she does so. There! Hit it there! Under the armour! It's soft! Under the arms! She currently considers you her allies. You all gain +1 to attack and damage against it until the start of her next turn.
Cool. Does that extend to Chardonnay as well, presumably?
Yes. And you see she swings in with actually quite a large axe, which she slams into the creature. And she does indeed get a nasty chunk into the mantis, kind of exactly where she pointed out a second ago. She slams the axe into kind of a soft spot under one of the arms, and there's a roar of pain from the creature as a gout of blood shoots out from it. But that is the end of her turn. The rest of the folk with her. The one that is not either grabbed or lying motionless on the floor also moves up and makes 2 attacks with looks to be a short spear of some kind. And as they thrust in with 2 spear strikes, roll the same thing both times. The mantis sort of turns the first time, knocks the spear aside, and the second time it glides off this creature's carapace. That's the end of their turn. It is the mantis's turn. Sort of seeing these new threats appear from around it.
Didn't the mantis go after Amos?
I think you might be right. Yes, it did. I didn't reorder my initiative tracker. You are correct. It is Brother Amos' turn.
Flurry of blows.
Alright, roll 2 attacks. +1 to attack and damage.
25.
25 is going to hit. Roll the damage.
Six. 7 if there's a +1 to it.
7 points of damage. Nice. And your second attack?
What is that? I can't even make out what that is. What the hell? Oh, it's a 4. 12. No, 8.
8 is going to miss. Your fist glides off of the hide of this creature.
And then a powerful fist.
Okay, roll that attack.
13.
Again, 13's not enough to hit. You swing for it, and for such a big creature, it's quite quick on its feet, and it ducks out of the way of your strike.
And one last powerful fist.
Alright, roll the attack.
Yeah, that's a miss.
Yeah, it sort of skitters just out of the way. You can't quite get a bearing on it. It is now around to the mantis, and as before, it kind of sort of glances around at these new threats that have come around it on the outside. Interestingly enough, Brother Amos, you'll see this as you're kind of just behind the creature a little bit. Its wings that it would normally have on its back, they look shriveled, and you see it attempts to beat them sort of very fruitlessly. It doesn't go anywhere into the air, and instead, sort of still with one of these folk grabbed in its arm, tries to break away from the group and begins to disappear into the forest. You can hear this guy sort of yelping the whole time, "Help!" But that's the end of its turn. We're round to Otto.
How far away am I from this creature?
You are... So... you are probably about 60 feet away from it. It's kind of breaking on a diagonal that's taken it semi past you. Not towards you, but kind of past you.
So if I move right up to it, that's all my... I can employ fleet step, can't I?
You can cast Fleet
that'll be
Step.
2 goes. Then I'll need 2 goes to do whatever I... I will just move 2 places nearer to it, and draw my hand crossbow.
Okay, so Otto, you sort of stomp up 40 feet towards it.
Yes.
Draw your hand crossbow,
Yes.
and we're now round to Alwyn.
So the guy that's on the ground, how far away is he from Alwyn?
Oh, so there are 2 of them that are on the ground. There was the one that was kind of in its jaws to start with, and there was the other one that got knocked down just as you arrived. You are from the nearest one. From the nearest one, you're 35 feet, and the farthest is 50 feet.
Okay, so I'll issue an instruction to Chardonnay. Go for its armpits! Go on, boy! How far away is Chardonnay from the creature?
Chardonnay is... so this thing, it's got quite a move on it, even though it's... it can't... it seemed like it can't fly. Oh, actually, no, that is a lie. So from where it was, it only managed to move... I say only. It managed to move 75 feet away from where it was. So Chardonnay is probably 60 feet away.
Right, so it's going to take Chardonnay 2 moves just to keep up with it. 2
yeah,
actions.
certainly
to keep
seems
up.
like it.
Okay. Well, that's what Chardonnay will do. Alwyn will move 25 feet closer to the guy that's down
Okay.
and fire another arrow at the creature.
All right. Roll the attack with your +1.
I'm guessing it's still not closer than 30 foot. Is it not further than 100 foot though?
Oh, sorry, the mantis. No, you're still within 100 feet.
Okay. So that is with the +1. That is 22.
22 is a hit. Roll the damage.
Okay. 5 points of damage
5 points
total.
damage. You loose your arrow. It sails in an arc. Sort of strikes the creature in the back as it flees. Seems to stumble in the snow for a second, but continues moving.
Okay, that's the end of my go.
All right. So end of Alwyn's turn. We are back round to the woman with the red hair and the rest of her comrades. Once again, you see her. She drops this axe that she's holding, pulls out quite a well-crafted looking longbow, and sort of pulls back an arrow and looses it. Where has it gone? There we go. Okay. So you see she sort of takes a step just to steady her stance, looses this arrow which sails in quite a wide arc. Alwyn, you in particular quite appreciate the bowmanship on display here. It strikes the mantis. The arrow disappears out of sight, but the creature seems to continue moving, although it is very, very badly hurt. So, end of her turn. The folk who are still on the ground. The other one who had been there kind of rushes over to his comrade and sort of starts trying to bandage wounds and all that sort of thing. That's the end of their turn. Brother Amos.
How far away am I from the...
From the mantis?
Yeah.
You are 65 feet.
I can get to it, and with my last turn, I will attempt a flurry of blows.
Oh, of course, because you have, as a monk, you move like the wind. Nice. Sure thing. All right, roll those 2 attacks.
$23.
Brother Amos, tell me how you bring down this giant mantis that's attempting to abscond with these people.
Crikey. I'm melting and I can't think straight, so I just rip off one of its legs and beat it to death with it.
You do so, sort of lengthening your stride and planting your steps very efficiently. You rush up, grab one of the creature's hind legs, sort of hold there for just a second and let it try to move away from you. As it does so, there is a sickening crack as the leg comes free, and then in one motion you leap up and you club it over the head. The creature sort of struggles for a second and then lies limp in the snow.
Well, that went well.
The individual sort of still kind of grabbed in within its arm seems to be hyperventilating just a little bit. Thank you. And he passes out.
I think Otto wanted that as a pet. For what it's worth, Alwyn would like to perform battle medicine on the 2 people on the ground.
Okay, so you approach the first one, kind of the one nearest who was dropped by it. He is quite obviously dead.
Right.
But the other individual who was kind of cut down, you approach him and you begin to apply battle medicine, so roll that medicine check.
Okay. 21.
21 is a success, so roll his healing.
10 points of damage.
It's become a force.
It can go either way with this battle medicine.
10 points of healing back to
Okay.
him.
Okay.
What's his name, just so I know for my battle medicine? I'll ask him as I'm patching him up. So what's your name, mate?
I mean,
Have you been on your holidays lately?
he was unconscious as you were applying this, so you might have to wait a brief moment.
Okay.
But kind of just as he's, you sort of get up to him and you see he's losing quite a lot of blood. With one hand, you sort of seal off seal off the wound, and with a second, you slap one of your salves into the wound, and you see it begin to congeal and set down. And just as you're kind of pulling away from this, you hear a voice from behind you, Alwyn. Strangers, thanks for the assist. I thought we were done for a moment there. And you turn and you find yourself looking into the face of this red-haired woman who had been directing you on where to strike the creature. Name's Nadia. You're a sight for sore eyes.
Hello, Nadia. My name's Alwyn. That's Brother Amos there, who's the one beating the creature with its leg. And our fearless leader over here is Otto von Niederschläger.
Yes, whatever. Pleased to meet you.
Well, as I said, Alwyn, Amos, Otto. Thank you. You arrived just the right time there. That beast was nasty.
This sort of thing happens a lot around here, does it?
That sort of thing.
Yes.
No, not normally like that. If I were to venture a guess, I'd say that beast is it's not from around here. And as she says this, she casts an eye across the three of you, and sort of seems to be focusing on your clothes as she does so. Oh yeah, much like yourselves, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, you are admiring my cloak of the Yeti. Yes, it is very warm. But no, you cannot blame this on us. We did not bring this thing with us.
Hang on now there, sir. I feel like you've gotten out of bed the wrong side. I was doing nothing about blaming. You see, I was just saying that monster don't seem like it's from around here, and neither do you. Just an observation, that's it.
Yes, I don't like the connection you seem to be making.
Well, I mean, if you had set a creature like that on us, why would you then come and run to our rescue? That's my thinking.
See, now you're using your head. Yes, you see?
You'll have to forgive Otto. He's had a bit of a shit few days. He's died several times, you know.
Yes, and I'm not about to do it again. Keep getting into these ridiculous fights with these ridiculous creatures.
Well, must say you look good for dead, Otto.
Well, yes, but
You're in there.
I'm putting a brave face on it for the sake of a lady.
Well, brave face. Anyway, truly, thank you. We're heading back to Waldby. Small village, not far from here. Got jumped by that thing.
Waldby, you say?
Waldsby, aye. Listen, far be it from me to pry in a stranger's business, but you seem a little out of place in these woods. Do you need a guide or something?
Yes, we do. We do.
Guide would be useful.
Yes, we do need a guide. Yes.
All right. Well,
You are a very perceptive young lady. I'm admiring you more with every moment.
Yeah, and as you say this, Otto, you sort of warm up to her a little bit, and you do get a good look at her face. And as you indeed say, she is quite a young lady. You probably put her, if you were to guess her age, she's probably about mid-20s.
Yes, it's the first time I looked in her face, but that's not my fault because I am short.
There we go. Yeah, she looks to be in about her mid-20s. Sort of very very pale skin, with quite piercing blue eyes, and as mentioned, a shock of red hair that kind of is braided and runs a short way down her neck. Well, come on then. We're not far from the village, but we lost a lot of time with that bug. I think that storm's going to overtake us, and she points over to the north. You can see there's a very angry storm cloud sort of moving in your direction.
Well, back to your place then.
That's the thing. I don't think we're going to make it before it overtakes us. We should bunker down here and let it pass.
Well, yes, let's just find a sheltered spot then.
All right. Hey, could you give us a hand with these sleds? And she indicates some small wooden constructions that essentially they're like carriages, but rather than wheels, they have quite wide skis on them. Seem to have been being pulled by a couple of teams of dogs.
Chardonnay, come here. Got a job for you. Time to channel your inner husky. Will Chardonnay allow me to strap him to one of these sleds.
Yes, I'll say that's okay.
There you go. Good boy.
Nadia sees you doing this and sort of looks at you, Owen. That's a fine wolf you got there.
Yes, he's Chardonnay. He's my fearless ally.
Chardonnay. All right. I shan't question a man's name for his companion.
It's a good name. It's a nice name.
Oh, I didn't say it wasn't. I said it was interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
Right now, come on, help me get these over there. And she gestures to a portion of the forest where the trees seem to be a little bit thicker.
Is that all right with you, boss? Alwyn will call to Otto. And if Amos is anywhere nearby, he'll be play along.
Oh, yes, all right. I don't have a better idea.
I'll stop beating the mantis with its own leg and play along.
Cool thing. Cool stuff. So you help Nadia and the rest of her team sort of drag these sleds and their own wounded across to this slightly sheltered area. And you see that Nadia busies herself by building a fire, and you see that the other members of her troop who are still able to stand start sort of mounding snow around the encampment to provide a little bit of a windbreak. And as predicted, less than half an hour later, the sky darkens, and you find yourselves in the heart of this storm as it begins to blow in. Sort of, it's whipping around your faces quite harshly. You sort of huddle into your cloaks and sit a bit closer to the fire. But as you do so, you do feel the chill bite into your bones quite a bit. Otto, you snuggle into your cloak of the Yeti and don't seem to notice this. But Alwyn and Brother Amos, I need you both to give me a fortitude save.
Okay.
Quite-
16.
21.
16 and 21. I shouldn't have put the rulebook down. Okay. Okay, so it was 16 and 21.
Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. Okay. Both of you take a single point of cold damage as it sort of blows in and sort of knocks the breath out of you momentarily.
Oh, that's cold.
Oi, it is. Gets colder further north you go.
Oh, it's just like where we come from. Yes, that is always true. A universal truth.
It is. Where are you from?
Oh, you know, here and there.
Here and there. All right.
Yes.
Is it nice that this time of year in here and there?
Not at the moment, no. It's a bit warmer than here, but not much warmer.
All right.
And here we are, talking about the weather like old friends. I feel comfortable in your presence already.
That's good to hear.
I didn't. Nadia, yes.
Nadia Petska.
Petska. Nadia Petska.
So come on then. Irison's a strange place to go for a day trip. What brings you all the way up here?
Shall we tell her?
Does anybody need any healing? I can do some healing.
The individual who you had picked up a moment ago, Alwyn, sort of raises his hand, and you can see his bandages are starting to bleed through a little bit.
Oh yes, I'll come over and I'll help. And Otto, you might want to tell her everything. On my way.
Why are we here again? some kind of quest. A dying old man said we had to come here, so of course we came.
Dying old man. That's
Yes.
curious.
Baba Yaga's Black Rider.
The Black Rider. Nah, come on, you're having me on. You met the Black Rider. The legendary Black Rider.
Oh, did someone mention Valerian Matavius? Black Midnight. I don't know. Anyway, I'm back to healing. Here we are.
No, that's
Take three of
That's-
these. Call me in the morning.
as you sort of say this, Alwyn. You noticed there was an immediate reaction from Nadia when you mentioned the Black Rider. Her eyes sort of went wide in amazement briefly, and then she seemed to withdraw into herself just a tiny little bit. But you, what was your medicine roll for the other individual?
Oh, I didn't make it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't call for it.
no, that's right. 21.
21 is a success. You can fix him up.
8 points back. What it's
8
worth.
points back. He's looking much better. The blood has stopped pouring, and yeah, he's still got a few scrapes and bruises, but he's looking okay.
Yes, remember it won't get better if you pick it.
Don't intend to.
Good. Yes.
Yeah. After the mention of Black Midnight, as mentioned, Nadia sort of shuffles herself into her cloak and to start with, she seemed quite talkative, and now she seems like she's gone into herself a little bit.
Did it seem like a positive reaction to Black Midnight?
You can give me a sense motive, so that's a perception roll, Alwyn.
Oh, natural 20. 27 for what it's worth.
Okay. It's the same reaction that you might get from a child when you tell them a fantastic story that they can't quite believe.
Okay.
It's a mixture of awe and respect.
Okay. I'd call that a positive reaction. Let's go over to Otto to one side and say, I think we can tell her everything. She seemed really keen to hear about Black Midnight.
Well, I trust your judgment, of course, implicitly. So if you say so, then well, she may prove to be a useful ally for what. Remind me again why we came here.
And by the way, I'm not kidding. I do think you're in there.
Ah, indeed.
Yes.
Yes, I sense that kind of
I know you're keen on,
a frisson between us.
I know you're keen for that sort of, yes.
That sort of action, yes.
Well, yes, quite. So yes, we're here because Valerian Matavius, who was Black Midnight, who was Baba Yaga's rider, he came through to find someone to go back and put the rightful queen back by chucking a plague mask and a lock of white hair into a cauldron that had been soaked in his blood.
Those were his exact words, were they?
I'm paraphrasing, but yes.
Well, I suppose we have to do it then. We'll tell her that. And if she knows anything,
I'll let you tell her in your own words. Actually, what I should have done was told Amos to tell Otto.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure we should mention I slit his throat just yet.
Oh, well, I didn't. But no, I think mentioning that's probably a bad idea at this time.
All
Right, anybody else need healing? Anybody else hurt? Minding my own business.
well, yes, I'm still hurt, emotionally as well.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I'll do a treat wounds on. Otto,
Yes, please.
then.
Right. So where this storm is beginning to pick up a little bit there, Stu, the DC is going to be a little bit higher for this edition of Treat Wounds.
And I have just rolled a natural one.
Okay.
Which would be a 10, for what it's worth.
Well, the 1 still makes it a critical fail.
It does, doesn't it? That's 1d8 of damage, isn't it?
It is indeed.
A 4. Sorry, Otto.
So that has not improved my mood or my willingness to.
Otto's having a really shit day. Do you know what? To make up for it, I'm going to use lay on hands.
Ah,
Just to cancel out everything you just did.
to cancel out, and you get 2 more back than what I just took away. So
thank you. I know you mean well.
This is a very toxic, abusive relationship you have going on.
I hurt you, then I heal you, then I hurt you again.
Oh dear.
Yes.
We shouldn't joke about that. That's actually quite horrifying.
It really is. But yeah.
Okay.
Oh dear.
So as you're tending to Otto, Alwyn, you're sort of there taking a few minutes trying to get it right, and at one point the wind sort of gusts and blows your scalpel out of your hand, which sort of scores Otto across the face, causing the damage that he just took. And you do, as you see this, you sort of swear a bit under your breath, pop your hand on his shoulder and cast Lay on Hands to fix him up a little bit.
I'm having a hard day of it.
It's harder for you. But well, what was, a good old scar,
Do you think ladies are drawn to a scar?
Yeah, dueling scar, yes.
A dueling scar, yes.
Dueling scar. To go with your accent.
To go with my mauling scars and my burn scars and my magic scars.
Whilst this is going on, you see that so Nadia has stayed sort of very into herself. She's sort of looking into the fire, whilst the other folk in the troop have kind of busied themselves, sort of tending to the dogs a little bit, sort of making sure that they're comfortable for where they are. Let's have perception rolls from everybody, please.
$25.
16.
Okay.
Yep, 16.
16. So Otto and Brother Amos, you again find yourselves a bit lost in thought, staring into the fire. But it's quite mesmerising with the howling wind all around you, and just the crackling of flames gently in front of you there. Alwyn, you become aware of the sound of snow crunching a little way away from you.
Sounds like someone's coming. Everybody ready. Draw the rapier.
All right. As you draw the rapier, you see that the rest of the camp kind of tenses up a little bit. Nadia puts her hand towards her axe, and the two folk travelling with her similarly sort of put a hand on the haft of their spears. And you see moving out about 45 feet away from you, sort of just coming out of the flurry of snow, you see a humanoid figure, sort of holding an arm above their face to protect it from the snow. And as they get a little bit closer, you see that this individual has sort of curling horns that curl back behind their head, and blue skin that is covered by sort of robes of pinks and purples. And most curiously, the legs of this individual don't appear to be human. They appear to be the legs of a goat. And as the creature strides towards you, they call out to the group. Ho there! Any room for another at your fire?
I think so. Alwyn will put his rapier away. Say, come join us, Master Tiefling.
Tiefling? I'm no tiefling. But
Oh, my apologies.
I'll accept the offer, thank you. And you see this creature walks towards you, and as they get within sort of 20 feet, you can see that this is quite a feminine-looking individual. She has strapped to her side. She has a rapier, and slung across her back there is a lute of sorts. But as mentioned, her skin is a frost blue, and her legs sort of turn into the legs of a goat, as you see. And as she approaches, she comes to the fire and she sits down. Thank you for giving hospitality to a traveller. Strange to see folk out in these woods.
Yes, we're caught in the storm.
Mm.
Yes.
You and me both. And she sort of looks around, sensing the tension a little bit. My role, Ardelane. Wandering bard extraordinaire. Perhaps you've heard of me.
Oh, not from round here. I'm Alwyn. This Brother Amos. This fine chap here is Otto, and these are our new friends.
Oh, aye.
Nadia and I'm sorry, I didn't catch these gentlemen's names.
Not from around here, eh? Interesting. Strange to see foreigners in the woods of Irison.
Perhaps you can sing us a song about it.
Perhaps I can. And she pops out her lute and she strums a couple of chords and she begins to play a song for you. What languages does everybody speak?
Just common.
Common,
Nice.
Dwarven, Gnomish.
Common and Draconic.
All right. So as she starts playing this song, she starts singing in a language that none of you understand. But whatever it is, it sounds quite beautiful. She has this lovely lilting voice that sort of carries equal parts beauty and darkness, and it provides a strange but oddly quite nice counterpart to the howling wind and the flurrying snow around you. And after a moment, she finishes her song and she stops.
Very well done.
Very well done, very well done.
I thank you.
Very nice.
I thank you. Been practicing that one for a very long time, and now I can add a new verse to it.
So I didn't understand a word of it, but you know, what language was that?
It was the language of music, my dear. Alwyn, was it?
Oh, and yes, that's right.
Yes, music transcends all languages. Surely you felt it stirring your soul, regardless?
Yeah, she's right. Yes, it did. Yes, I have to admit.
It was very nice. But no, you were obviously singing in a language. I was just curious.
That's all right. Curiosity is a boon.
And speaking of curiosity, I hope you don't mind me. My apologies earlier for referring to you as a tiefling. Well, to be honest, the horns and the legs. I thought you were a tiefling. Clearly, you say you're not, though.
It's okay.
Okay.
I've heard far worse. Believe you me. But if you're asking what I am.
Well, I didn't want to be so bold as to ask, but I am curious, I will admit. Yes, always happy to meet diverse peoples.
So what are you then?
I am a creature known as a Folaran. And it's interesting you say, Tiefling, because it is believed that we have fiendish blood in us in a similar way.
Well, I'm a great believer that a person is what they do, not where they come from.
A good outlook to have. Now, I wonder how much longer this storm will last. I could really do with getting on my way.
And here we are, talking about the weather again.
May I ask what you're doing out in the storm?
Me, I'm journeying. If you've been here a little time, you might have seen it. That tower up on the hillside. I have business with Najena.
Najena.
And what about you? What brings 3 foreigners here to Irison? What's everybody's perception DCs, by the way?
All the same, I believe, 17.
All right. So you will notice that as this whole exchange has been happening, Nadia has not said a word. She has been glaring coldly at the creature the entire time.
Perhaps we should keep our own counsel a bit more until we know we have a better understanding of the local political situation.
I think you're right.
Oh, come on. I told you why I was here. A secret for a secret, no?
Yes. Oh, we didn't know it was a secret. You were quite open about it.
You'll have to excuse me, comrades. We've had a bit of a it's been a bit of a shit time of it lately, I've got to say. Otto here, he's nearly died several times.
Yes, I have had a shit day.
Well, that sounds like quite the story, but I shan't.
I've nearly killed him several times myself.
Yes, I'm here for my health. I have come to take the waters.
Well, they do say that you should keep your enemies close and your friends closer. Perhaps that's what they mean by that.
I thought it was the other way round.
In either way, I don't want to keep my enemies close.
No. But no, it was only accidental when I nearly killed him. I'm a healer of sorts.
Of sorts, yes. Sometimes healing can go the other way, you know, you get adverse reaction. That is modern medicine.
Otto, yeah, do excuse us. He's having a really bad day.
Yes, well, I'm sure once you get in the warm and have a hot meal, I'm sure you'll be right as rain, no doubt. Strong-blooded dwarf like you should be very resilient, I'm sure.
Yes, you are very perceptive. And yes, I have been pushed to my limits today.
All right. Well, I sense it as a sore subject, so I know when to. I didn't get this far in my journey without knowing when to make myself scarce. I think I can wander a little further.
Yeah, you are welcome to wait out the storm here.
I'm curious. How did you know he was a strong-blooded dwarf? I mean, obviously he's a dwarf, but you know, how did you know he was strong-blooded?
You can tell. The strong-blooded dwarves have something of an innate vigor to them, even when they're tired.
There, you see? You see? Does that answer your question?
Oh, do me an Amos.
You, she points at you, Alwyn. You're easy, half-elf. And you, she points at Amos. You're even easier. Bog-standard human. No?
Yes, that's right.
I was hoping for something a little more insightful, but okay.
But Brother Amos is not really box standard.
Oh, no.
Well, box. The boxing does come into it, of course. But, There's nothing standard about Brother Amos. He's quite an extraordinary fellow.
I am a tool.
He is a tool, yes.
His Fist of Fury. Yes.
Indeed. Well, I'm sure they've served you well.
They have.
Anyway, I really do sense that you're not in the mood for chat. I think it's, and she sort of looks around. Yes, the storm seems to be easing. I can be on my way now, I think. And as she says this, before she says this, you do notice that the wind has died down a bit and the snow is beginning to ease.
Well, if we also have business in the general direction of the tower. If you'd like some company, as we.
So we're going that way ourselves.
It's that's kind of you, but the path of the bard is a lonely one, as they say, stopping only for brief periods to connect with people. No.
Well, how else would you collect your stories for your bardic tales and songs without talking to people who have stories to share?
Consider us a mobile audience.
And source of stories.
And muse and audience.
Let's have a diplomacy roll there. From whoever wants to make it, the others can assist with that or aid with that.
I've made a roll of 13.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll assist then. This is diplomacy, yeah?
Diplomacy, yes.
So 17, so that's an assist.
Okay. Brother Amos, are you assisting as well, or are you?
I shall.
Sure.
17.
17, nice. So that brings you, Otto, to a total of 17. And as you say this, the Myril sort of considers to herself for just a moment. You can see she's kind of turning the idea over in her head, and she says, "Thank you, but no. I get the sense that you have business before getting to the tower, if that's indeed where you're going, whereas I must head straight there. I'm so sorry."
Okay, well,
Yes,
good journeys.
Bye then.
Bye then.
Yes, safe travels to you all. Perhaps we'll meet again down the road, eh?
You never know.
I've got a feeling.
And Myril stands, gathers her things, and walks quite obviously around the camp, doing her best not to go near the fire itself. She walks around the camp and strides off into the subsiding snowstorm. And as she does so, you see Nadia watches her the whole way. And then once she thinks she's out of earshot, Nadia, sort of still not really having moved from where she was kind of crouched, she sort of mutters almost to herself, but quite audibly. You hear her say, "Fucking Winter Fae."
I take it you're not a fan.
No, you could say that.
You didn't enjoy the song.
Oh, the song was nice. It's the person playing it.
Seemed pleasant enough.
Boy, that's how they get you. Little tip for you, if you're going to be exploring Irison, don't trust folk with blue skin.
That is a good rule to live with generally, I think.
Don't know. I'm always hesitant to judge people by the colour of their skin.
I know what you're getting at, and I'm sure you think me a massive racist. But
I wasn't saying that. I wasn't saying it.
well, I think. Come on, let's get on the way to Waldsby. I'll give you a better explanation once we're behind some nice walls.
Okay.
Reasonable.
Look forward to it.
All right, and as the last of the storm subsides, Nadia and her caravan pack up the sort of makeshift camp that you were huddling around, hitch the dogs, and begin pulling the sleds in the direction of that they had previously been travelling. And after less than an hour of walking and pulling these sleds through, you begin to see a light twinkling in the distance that seemed to indicate a village of some kind. And that is where we're going to end for the night, folks.
Approach the village. I mean, it was those.
Tales from the 20 Side is a Feeble Films production in association with Juicy Falls, music by Nazar Ryback from hooksounds.com, editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching Tales from the 20 Side or by visiting talesfromthe20side.com.